Welcome to my leader source, and today we're going to talk about the snatch balance. Very aggressive move, and it's really going to do a full body workout on you. The snatch balance does promote a lot of good balance and bar control. It primarily focuses on the shoulders, the traps, and the triceps. However, we get the lower body involved when we start doing a little bit of the squat. Just to let you know, it is still being involved, and you will feel this after you finish up with the exercise. Jason here has decided to come in and help us out with demonstrating this exercise. So you ready to do a little snatch balance?
Give it a try.
All right. Okay, now we're going to talk about some key points that's going to set you up for success when performing the snatch balance. Remember, we got a lot of balance, we got a lot of coordination, a lot of moving parts in this exercise. It's going to require the entire body to be involved. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the bar, Jason. And normally you could use a rack to put this in, but for demonstration purposes, we're going to just grab the bar and go ahead and put it behind his neck. And like I said, this is much easier to perform if you have a rack. Okay, so as you see where the bar is sitting, his bar is sitting up here on the upper part of his back in his traps. His elbows are behind him, and he's got to go ahead and turn this way. He's got a wide grip on his stance or with his hands. Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead. Now what we're going to talk about, the first thing is we got to get this weight moving up this line of travel right here. And from a dead standstill in the back, that's a lot of weight to move. So what we want to use is use our body, and we want to keep our core nice and tight, and we're going to cause a little dip that's going to come up and kind of get this bar moving that direction. As you can see, it just kind of pops up there because he's kept all this straight and rigid. He's shooting up, and that dip is creating that drive. Okay, so now then, once we do that, when he gets ready, we're going to start to see this bar travel up a good direct line. His arms are going to get the full extension, and at that point, he's going to engage his traps and to get his entire upper body and hold that weight above his head. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, focus on this piece right on the upper portion only. You see how his arms are extended, his traps are engaged, his hands are up, and he's got a good maintained body. Also, this bar is set behind and not directly over his head, but far behind here. Go ahead and relax, Jason. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and face this way, Jason, because I want them to see in the back how your elbows extend. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. And we see here, elbows are very well extended. You can see this engagement right here in the traps that's holding that bar. Okay. Go ahead and relax. All right. Go ahead and face back to me. Great. Okay, the next piece we're going to talk about now is the lower body, what's going on with that. Once he starts to dip down and we see the extension of the bar, and that we talked about how that engages, let's focus on his lower body now, and let's watch the position he lands in, okay? Great. As you can see, this bar was moving up, his body was moving down, and now he's in a very good squat position. He's flat on his feet. He's a little bit lower than this adjacent plane right here. His back is erect and his core is engaged. Once he lands like this, he's then going to start to drive up, keeping that core and keeping that back extended to where he finishes up in this position. Okay, one more time. You take a break, yeah, so it really puts a lot on you.
Who would have known?
Okay, let's go from facing this way. Yeah, let's go front, there you go. Great. Now you notice also, we're not going to cover the squat in detail because we've done that in many other exercises, like such as the air squat, the front squat, but we want to keep those knees faced out so that we kind of have a good foundation so when we start heading up. Okay. All right, we're going to touch on three of the common faults that you may experience when doing the snatch balance. Okay, and it's kind of hard to do, and Jason's going to have to play around with it a little bit. But the three we're really talking about is leaning forward at the upper body when you're going into the dip or sagging, kind of de-arching, I say. And then the second would be the not locking out your arms and elbows, and the third is not engaging your shoulders and your traps to keep that bar over the head. Okay. So the first one we'll talk about is the kind of leaning forward over the dipping. Once he puts this on, whenever he starts to get ready to do his dip, as you see this, he started to lean forward. And what happens when you put some weight on here, this thing's gonna throw you off a little bit, and now then it's gonna start to, your bar's gonna have to travel a different line than going straight up, and you're not gonna be able to use that body weight or that body, the strength of the body and the core to launch that bar up that line of flight, okay? So we don't want to lean forward or dip. We want to keep a good core engaged and get straight and get that line going up. The second is where we kind of start to lose a D-arch, and it's losing your core as well, and you start to get this back here. It does pushes your knees forward. This is hard right here, and you're probably going to lose the weight. That's where we're going to get into the ugly stuff then, okay? And you could get hurt, so we don't want to do that. All right, the next one is the, once we start to go up, it's the locking out of the arms. So just go ahead and just show him what not locking out the arms go. You see here his arms are not locked out, and it's really harder to do this and causes a lot more, a lot more pressure on his arms. Turn back this way one more time. And also, it also forces the bar over the top of his head opposed to being locked out. Go ahead and take a break. I know it's tough on there. And then the third piece is that inactive shoulders. And so if you just go ahead and push the bar up, if you just have the bar up and the shoulder's not active, all this weight now is being pushed back here on the shoulder and pulling backwards, and also the wrist. So now you're trying to hold this all up with the arms, will probably feel that shaking. So go ahead and relax. So what we want to really do is get that up. Let's go ahead and show them one more time with the good active. Really presses that up, this portion right here, place all this and kind of distributes that weight, okay? Go ahead and relax. So those are the three basic common faults within the snatch balance. And of course, we go back into the common faults within the squats. If you go back and review our air squats, or also our front squats or back squats, because we've hit on those a lot, okay? All right, so that's going to cover us up with all the common faults. Okay, so in closing with the snatch balance, as you see, it's a dynamic exercise that is full body. It's engaging your core. It's hitting those the shoulders, the arms. I mean, it's just full body. Lower legs getting involved in there. The best thing I can tell you is, try this without any weight up front, because you're going to have to break this down to where you can perform this exercise in a very controlled manner, and take your time with it, okay? Don't go out there and put a lot of weight on it, because all you're going to do is you're going to perform bad exercises, and you're probably going to get hurt, and we don't want that to happen. So train smartly. And then Jason, thanks a lot for coming out and helping us out here. Thank you. I know it's even without any weight, it gets a little workout, so you're sweating already. Tough move. All right, well, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time on My Leader's Horse.